Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk about my tips for engineering grads who want to find a job after university or college. So before we get too far into the video, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. When you go through university, you're expecting that at the end of your program, you're going to easily find your dream position. That's kind of what you're almost led to believe during university, and that's not the case. My first piece of advice is to make sure you cater your summer experience to the discipline or area that you want to practice in. So let's say that you're a mechanical engineer and you want to do commercial HVAC and plumbing design. Well, it might be a good idea to get a summer job in that. Don't get a job in, let's say, something like manufacturing or machine design and hope to switch over to HVAC at graduation. This is also going to help you figure out what you like and you don't like. You might think that throughout university your favorite classes were machine design and manufacturing, but when you actually get a summer position, you realize that, well, it just wasn't for you. And really the most important job that you'll ever get is your first job out of school. That's going to set the pace for the industry or field that you're in. You're out of school and the first job you get is in manufacturing. Well, if you even spend a year there, then when you go to get your next job, your resume is only going to have manufacturing. So you want to keep that in mind, because my piece of advice about this would be to make sure you hold out for the job that you think is actually going to be what you want to do in the long term, rather than just a short-term job to pay the bills. Now I get it. You're out of school, you have debt, and that's totally acceptable to just take a job to start making money. I get it. But if you're looking at a kind of a long career and you want to make sure that it's something that you like, you kind of want to take that in mind and be a little bit more selective. It also depends on if you're willing to relocate. If you're willing to relocate, you have a much larger pool of jobs to apply to, rather than if you're just sticking to your hometown or wherever you went to school. So keep that in mind. If you know the area you want to go in, and then you're willing to relocate anywhere within the country, then I would suggest holding out for the perfect position that actually suits all your criterias in terms of pay, in terms of experience, and in terms of benefits and all that. Those are all things that are super, super important when you start looking for your job. And I want to make sure that there's no oversight on that. It's a lot easier to hold out for an extra month or two to find the dream job than it is after 2 or 3 years to want to switch from, let's say, manufacturing to HVAC design. Or if you're a civil grad, switching from geotechnical to something like structural. Those are kind of different areas. If you've gotten 2 or 3 years of experience in one subdiscipline, it's very, very hard to switch to another one because you're essentially starting from scratch. The hardest thing when you're a new grad is to get to that interview process. So you want to make sure that your resume is very custom and tailored toward the position that you're applying to. You want to be very selective. Something I would not advise people to do is to send a million resumes out to every job posting out there and just hope that someone bites. That's not a good approach, and it kind of shows a lot about your personality. The employer can really read right away whether your resume was specifically tailored to them. So whether you took the extra time to put the resume together, read about the company, and really tailor your resume and cover letter to that position, or if it's just a generic copy and paste from 1,000 other applications you did. Something to keep in mind too is make sure that you change, in your cover letter, you change the company name and the position. There's nothing more embarrassing than me as an employer receiving a resume for someone with a different company name in the cover letter. It sounds simple, but make sure that you do that, and you should always double or triple check your resume and cover letter before applying. Once you've gotten that interview, after you submitted a successful resume, that's where you really need to shine. And really that's when your soft skills come into play. When we look for new grads, some people might have a little bit of summer experience, but what we really look for is attitude over aptitude. So out of school, everyone has the same kind of technical background. Some people, again, have summer experience, but attitude over aptitude is the main thing we look for as an employer. We want to get the feeling in the interview that you're going to fit the company culture, so make sure that you brush up on that prior to the interview, that you understand the role, and that you're willing to learn. No one expects a new graduate to know everything out of school. So don't come out guns blazing thinking that you're going to solve all the company's problems, because that's not what you're expected to do. You're expected to learn and be able to adapt to the company to be able to be productive in that area. You don't want to come out and say that you're going to solve things without getting the experience. Your supervisors and managers are going to make sure that your job and your tasks are tailored towards a new graduate. And over time you're going to build that up, but don't come out guns blazing thinking you're going to solve everything. And that comes across very easily with some people in interviews. There's nothing worse than the sentiment as an employer of being oversold, because you know what you have the same expectations from the people that are applying. So again, keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you're very concise with your answers, and it's okay to say I don't know during an interview, because again, it shows that you know where you're at and that you're not going to mislead anybody in the position. So anyways, this was a little bit of a small rant. If you enjoyed the video, as always, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content.